Hello. So, in today's video, let us cover the international news for general current affairs of NABARD Grade A examination, and let us get on with it right away. So, we have COP CMS COP 15, the 15th conference of the parties to the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals, was held under Brazil presidency. The conference brought together representatives from 132 countries and the European Union. Theme of the conference: Connecting Nature to Sustainable Life. So we must remember theme of this conference: Connecting Nature to Sustain Life, and it was held under Brazil presidency. The total of 40 migratory species including birds, aquatic and terrestrial animals were brought under the CMS protection. Brazil assumed the presidency for the next 3 years to oversee the implementation of decisions. Germany was announced as the host of COP16 in 2029 to mark 50th anniversary of CMS. India hosted CMS COP13 in Gandhinagar in Gujarat in 2020. Next 3 years, Germany will held in COP 2029. About the convention: it is legally binding international treaty under the United Nations Environment Programme. It was established in 1979. Currently, it has 133 contracting parties, also known as Bonn Convention because it was signed in Bonn, Germany. Artemis 2. NASA has launched the Artemis 2 mission from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, USA. It is the first crewed mission. It is the first crewed mission under NASA Artemis program, launched in 2017. Objective: to advance human lunar exploration and long-term moon presence. Crew members: Commandant Reed Wiseman, Pilot Victor Glover, Mission Specialist Christina Koch, Mission Specialist Jeremy Hansen, Canada. Spacecraft: the Orion capsule developed by Lockheed Martin is launched aboard the SLS rocket. Orion capsule. Duration was 10 days. NASA targets 2028 for Artemis 4 to land astronauts on the moon's south pole, while Artemis 3 aims for a human moon landing after further testing. Okay. India elected 2 UN ECOSOC bodies. The permanent mission of India to the United Nations announced that India was elected by acclamation to 3 subsidiary bodies of UN Economic and Social Council. Okay. India positions in UN bodies. India has been elected to UN bodies including Commission on Science and Technology for Development (CSTD) 2027 to 2030, Committee on Non-Governmental Organization (NGO) Committee 2027 to 2030, Committee for Program and Coordination 2027 to 2029. Preeti Saran re-elected to Constitute on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights from 2027 to 2030. About India and ECOSOC membership: India is serving its 18th term in ECOSOC. Data leadership: India joined UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science for official statistics, strengthening data governance and evidence-based policy making. About ECOSOC: one of the 6 main organs of United Nations responsible for coordinating global economic and social, humanitarian and cultural work, comprises of 54 member states elected by UNGA for 3 years term. Decision taken by simple majority with annual rotation presidency. President Lok Bahadur Thapa. Headquarters United States of America, established in 1945, post the Second World War. India issued Special Forces Exercise Cyclone 4 The India the India-Egypt Joint Special Forces exercise Cyclone 4 officially commenced at Rangers Forces Headquarters in Anshas, Egypt. Background: in 2023, initiated in 2023 annual exercise, previous edition held in February 2025 at the Mahajan Field Firing Ranges in Rajasthan. Objective: to enhance joint mission planning and interoperability through exchange of special operations best practices, training of training on special tactics, techniques and procedures in desert and semi-desert terrain. Initiated in 2023, India-Egypt Cyclone 4. Meta unveils Muse Spark AI model. Meta Platforms Incorporation launched its new AI model, Muse Spark, the first from its superintelligence team under the Avocado series. It aims to strengthen Meta's position in the global AI race by developing advanced reasoning capabilities and integrating AI into everyday user experiences. Initially available on Meta AI platforms, it will replace Llama-based chatbots across WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and smart glasses. Okay, fine. Meta unveils Muse AI Spark AI model. Llama-based AI chatbots. India-Uzbekistan exercise Dastlik 2026. The 7th edition of India-Uzbekistan Joint Military Exercise Dastlik 2026 began at Gurumansarai Field Training Area in Namangan. Objective: to enhance military cooperation and joint operational capabilities in semi-mountainous terrain through training in fitness, planning, tactical drills and coordinated command systems. Focus areas: it includes land navigation, attack on enemy bases, capturing enemy-held areas, and sharing operational practices between India and Uzbekistan forces. Interoperability: yes. Final assessment: the training will end in 48-hour intensive phase to evaluate the joint operational readiness of both contingents. Background of exercise Daslik. Beginning: it is a bilateral military exercise that began in 2019, involving joint training between the armed forces of India and Uzbekistan. The exercise is organized every year, with India and Uzbekistan hosting it alternately to strengthen defense cooperation between the two countries. Last edition was held in Foreign Training Node in Aund, Pune, Maharashtra. India-Myanmar MOU for School Project. The Government of India and Myanmar signed MOU for the construction of a school in Naypyidaw, capital of Myanmar, to create high-quality early childhood environment that supports the physical, intellectual and social development of children in the region. It is implemented under India's Small Development Project framework and aligns with the Neighborhood First policy. Fine. 9th Indian Ocean Conference held in Mauritius. The 9th Indian Ocean Conference was held in Port Louis, Mauritius, centered on the theme Collective Stewardship for Indian Ocean Governance. Remembering the theme. About IOC 2026. The Indian Ocean Conference was initiated in 2016 by the Indian Foundation in collaboration with regional think tanks and institutions, with the objective of promoting maritime cooperation among nearly 30 participant nations. Initiated in 2016. The 8th Indian Ocean Conference took place in Muscat, Oman in February 2025. The IOC seeks to bring major maritime nations and key stakeholders to enhance regional cooperation under security and growth for all in the region Sagar framework. It facilitates dialogue among countries, international organizations, policymakers and academic experts. Fine. Organizer. The 3-day conference was jointly organized by India Foundation in association with the Government of Mauritius. India's participation. India's representation. India was presented by External Affairs. Outcomes. India announced several agreements and initiatives with Mauritius, including decisions on oil and gas supply and the appointment of a defense attaché at its High Commission to enhance cooperation in the Indian Ocean region. It also emphasized ongoing maritime security cooperation covering EEZs, protection, joint surveillance, hydrographic survey, and naval patrols, along with the refitting of Mauritius Coast Guard ships under grant assistance. Additionally, both countries reviewed $680 million special economic package for Mauritius, which includes healthcare, helicopters, road projects, infrastructure, etc. About India Foundation. India Foundation is an independent research center focusing on contemporary India global context. President is Ram Madhav. Headquarters at New Delhi and established in year 2009. About India Foundation. Founded and led by Shaurya Doval, son of NSA, established as a policy. mm, India-German launched commemorative logo for 75 years of diplomatic ties. India-Germany 75 in Berlin. The logo was chosen as a joint competition on My Government platform with participation from both countries to represent strong friendship. Both sides review their bilateral relations. Fine. USA unveils space nuclear power plan. The USA's Office of Science and Technology Policy launched the National Science Technology Memorandum 3 to advance space nuclear power and enable deployment of low to mid power reactors in orbit on the Moon and Mars in 2030. Lunar reactor development. Under the new nuclear space program, NASA has been directed to launch a program within 30 days to develop a mid-power reactor with a lunar surface version expected to launch by 2030. Space-based orbital reactor. The United States Department of Defense has been assigned the responsibility of developing a mission-ready in space nuclear reactor by 2031. High-power nuclear systems for deep space. NASA has been tasked with developing nuclear reactors capable of generating at least 100 kilowatt electric to support the future deep space exploration missions. Role of Department of Energy. Department of Energy is required to evaluate within 60 days whether US industry can construct up to 4 space reactors within 5 years. It will also ensure uranium fuel availability if commercial supply is inefficient and assist with testing and launch approvals. What is this all about? Space nuclear power plant. USA launching reactors. Let us see this concept in little bit detail and then try to understand. I cancel it to Uncos Draco. The White House officially issued National Security Memorandum. This established the National Institute with clear ultimate goals to world development. Just fix finish. aspirates. Okay. Skyfall payload to US plans to deliver a mid-power fission surface reactor to the moon by 2030. Okay. SpaceX to launch Rosalind Franklin rover to Mars in 2028. SpaceX announced NASA announced that SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket will launch the European Space Agency's Rosalind Franklin rover to Mars in 2028 from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center, Florida, USA. NASA has approved the implementation of Rosalind Franklin support to ExoMark mission objective will drill. The Rosalind Franklin rover will drill up to 2 meters beneath the surface of Mars to search for signs of past microbial life, making it the first rover designed to explore subsurface on the red planet. Okay, NASA has announced that SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket will launch European Space rover. I get it. Under the ROSA project, NASA will provide critical mission support including launch services, braking engines for the landing platform, and radioisotope heater units to maintain the rover's internal temperature in extreme Martian conditions. In 2024, a MoU was signed between NASA and European Space Agency, formalizing NASA's expanded role in ExoMars program. Okay. INS Nirikshak participates in INS SLN Divex 2026. The Indian Navy ship Nirikshak, a diving support and submarine rescue vessel of the Indian Navy, participated in the 4th edition of India-Sri Lanka diving exercise held in Colombo, Sri Lanka. The joint maritime exercise underscored the shared commitment to promoting stability, cooperation, and collective growth in the Indian Ocean region. It also aligns with the vision of mutual and holistic Mahasagar. Okay. Participated in the 4th edition with Sri Lanka. The exercise focused on enhancing interoperability, strengthening coordination, and promoting the sharing of best practices between Indian Navy and Sri Lankan Navy. The week-long bilateral exercise will involve diving teams from both navies conducting specialized diving operations along with structured training drills. Humanitarian outreach. Under the Government of India's Arogya Maitri initiative, the Indian vessel will transfer to Bhishma Bharat Health Initiative for Sahyog, Hita and Maitri cubes to Sri Lankan authorities. These portable medical units can manage up to 200 emergency cases and are equipped with essential medicines and basic surgical facilities for minor procedures. Maritime security cooperation. Additionally, the Indian Navy will hand over 50,000 rounds of 9mm ammunition to Sri Lankan Navy to further strengthen defense cooperation. Okay. Emergency cases and hand over 50,000 rounds of 9mm ammunition to Sri Lanka. China selects 2 Pakistani astronauts for Tiangong training. The China Manned Space Agency has selected 2 Pakistani candidates, Mohammad Zishan Ali and Khurram Doad, for astronaut training as a part of China's human space flight program. Okay. This development marks a significant step towards strengthening space cooperation between China and Pakistan. This also marks the first time China has included a foreign astronaut in its program, with one of the selected candidates expected to become the first Pakistani to travel Earth's orbit and visit Tiangong space station. Okay. About India-Pakistan space mission. Mohammad Ali and Dawood were selected as reserve astronauts for multiple evaluation rounds. They will receive advanced training in China, and one of them will later be chosen as a payload specialist for a future Tiangong mission focused on conducting scientific experiments. The partnership reflects China's growing space diplomacy and international outreach while also enabling Pakistan's entry into human spaceflight and enhancing its specific and technological capabilities. Background framework. This development builds on an agreement signed in February 2025 between China Manned Space Agency and Pakistan Space Authority. Tiangong Space Station. This is important. Tiangong is a permanently crewed modular space station located in low Earth orbit at an altitude of 400 kilometers. It was completed between 2021 and 2022 and is designed for long duration habitation and scientific research. China, the third country after USA and Russia to independently send humans into space. Excluded from ISS, cooperating steadily expanding in its international space partnerships. Fine. So NASA launches Roman Space Telescope to study dark matter. The US Space Agency NASA has introduced the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, a powerful wide-field observatory built to explore large parts of the universe and identify planets outside our solar system. About Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. The telescope aims to create a new atlas of the universe for Earth by mapping large regions of space. It will study dark matter and dark energy, which together are believed to make up 95% of the universe. It is named after Nancy Grace Roman, NASA's first chief astronomer, who is widely known as the mother of Hubble Space Telescope for her foundational role in space astronomy. The mission has been developed at an estimated cost of $4 billion over more than a decade. It will operate from a position of 1.5 million kilometers from Earth to observe deep space. It is designed with a 2.4 meter primary mirror and carries two main scientific instruments. The wide field instrument is 300 megapixel camera capable of visible and near infrared imaging, offering Hubble-like clarity but covering nearly 100 times larger area of the sky. The chronograph instrument is designed for high contrast imaging and uses advanced starlight blocking technology to detect faint objects near bright stars. Data generation. The telescope is expected to send around 11 TB of data daily back to Earth. 11 TB. Launch plan. The 12-meter spacecraft equipped with large solar panels will be transported to Florida for a SpaceX launch planned as early as September 2026. The Hubble Space Telescope is a space telescope launched by NASA in 1990 into low Earth orbit to take clear and detailed images of the universe. It is unique because it is the only telescope that can be repaired and maintained in space by astronauts. Fine. Blue Origin rocket fails out of space. Blue Origin launched Bluebird 7 communication Cape, however, during third minute expected. The mission is planned to improve space B3 engines during Glen rocket first. Jordan joins India-led global initiatives. The Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan was formerly has formally become a member of International Solar Alliance Coalition of Disaster Resilient Infrastructure and Global Biofuels Alliance. Significance of Jordan's membership. Climate dimension. Jordan's inclusion expands India-led clean energy diplomacy, strengthens engagement with Middle East, and reinforces India's position as a global leader in climate action through multilateral platforms. International Solar Alliance. Jordan has joined ISA with the objective of achieving 50% electricity generation. Coalition for Disaster Infrastructure. Marking 75 years, it supports the futuristic partnership between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and King Abdullah II and also contributes expanding trade. The membership is expected to enhance. Okay, fine. India and France, even if CCC, Haryana are eligible to join ISA. About established in 2019, New Delhi. Global Biofuels Alliance 2023. Okay, fine. So that was it.